The clone trooper army on Mimban has gone ahead and dug trenches to solidify their positions in front of a fortress. The fortress itself is sealed in tight, and it won't be easily broken into. However, if the droids do get up to it, they will find a way. The 41st Elite Corps must hold the trenches and prevent the droid army from coming forth. The droids will do everything in their power to win this battle. Let's see who does it. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Yippoi Daily Tactics here, back on the very foggy planet of Mimban. I mean, you can't see more than a few yards ahead of yourselves. It's gonna be a rough battle here for the two combatants. We've got the clone troopers defending and holding a massive, and I mean massive, trench line. This is probably the largest trench battle we've ever done. I've also done battles on this map previously. However, those battles were mainly focused on the fortress behind, and I can do a fortress assault in the next episode if you guys would like to see that, but I thought it'd be more interesting to focus in on the trenches today and actually see the clone troopers hold out in a huge trench defense. They have troopers every few yards on these trenches holding out. They've got some tank destroyers. These are actually Imperial tank destroyers, so perhaps early prototypes at the very end of the Clone Wars. They've also got AV cannons and E-web turrets scattered throughout, and of course the infantry is just insane in numbers within these trenches. As for the battle droids, they've got MTTs, AATs, as well as these smaller troop carriers. A full-on mobilized assault is what we're going to be seeing here from the battle droids, and we will see if they manage to take over the trench lines or if the droids will crumble and falter and ultimately lose. Let's go ahead and get this thing started, boys. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to smash that like button. Let's try and get 1,500 likes in the first 24 hours. Subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below what you thought of the battle and what you'd like to see next. Let's get it poppin'. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Alright guys, let's get this thing going here. We'll go in slow-mo for the first part of the battle. Since it is so large, I will put a lag warning here. Could get laggy, baby. Could get laggy. Alright, let's check out this battle. I suppose we should probably zoom into the very front trenches and see how they end up doing at the very beginning. I think the front trenches will likely go down pretty quick. Let's be honest, these guys have the roughest part of this entire thing. They have to be at the very front lines with probably the thinnest defenses as well. I mean, the heavier artillery and tanks are a little bit farther back, mainly just small arms and bazookas up here. So these guys have got it rough. I feel bad for these blokes, but you know what? Someone's got to do it, and maybe these guys signed up for it. Probably not. They were probably just ordered to. Oh, rip my mans, rip my dudes. All right, let's go into normal speed while we get going here and check out what ends up going down. You can see the AATs looming in the distance. I think, oh, here we go. Battle starting. I think the fog honestly makes it really hard for both combatant sides to actually see. And so it takes them a while to actually start firing in on these tanks and things like that. The AAT's going for a bit of a blitzkrieg right now, going straight into the trenches. Meanwhile, the droid carriers in the back begin to basically just spread their men out. They're just like, nope, get out. It's time for you to leave these things. Go, fight, win. However, the clones aren't really taking the AAT bait. I think the AATs would like it if the clone troopers would fire heavily at them. However, the clones are focusing in on the infantry. So I think that little droid strategy isn't really working. And obviously, the droids want the clones to fire at the tanks so the infantry can get out safely. However, the clones are totally focus firing on the infantry right now, wiping out large swaths of these guys right off the bat. Look at these guys. They're getting slaughtered out here. Meanwhile, the AATs are wrecking a lot of the clone lines, but like I said before, they're not really getting contested too much since the clone troopers aren't taking the bait. The clones clearly focus firing on infantry, which I don't blame them. I think that is definitely the biggest threat to the battle at this very moment, the infantry. And focus firing on them instead of the tanks is probably going to be key, even though they themselves might take more losses because they're not focusing in on the tanks. They will deliver more losses onto the droids. However, there are bazooka troopers that are focus firing the tanks, which is good to see. You know, they're the ones who should be focus firing the tanks since they'll be way more effective against them versus against just random scatterings of infantry and whatnot. So it's good to see the bazookas in full force here, blasting away at some of these tanks. I don't really see any down droid tanks quite yet. Like I said before, clones are focusing in on the infantry for the most part, but I would assume that some of these tanks would go down. Oh, here we go. There's a downed AAT tank right there. Beautiful. Oh, but the droids, they have been focus firing a lot on these heavy tank destroyer prototypes that the clones have, and it does look like they do end up managing to take one of those things out. I've also noticed a lot of the tanks are focus firing on the E-Web turrets, which, yeah, I mean, it's worked out for them because a lot of those E-Web turrets are down for the count right now. There's only one, in fact, on the front line, still kicking, still firing away some lasers at those droids. So those E-Web turrets, while a heavy item for the droids to take, still managing to kick it a little bit. More and more AAT tanks are ending up dead on the battlefield here, so that is good to see. It means that the clones are, in fact, finally starting to focus on the tanks a little bit, because at this point, now that the droid infantry has fully mobilized, it's going to be harder to get those large, chonky kills on them. So it's good for the clones to now start committing more time to both the tanks and the infantry. But while the infantry was exiting out of these troop carriers and basically defenseless for a few seconds while they did so, it's good that the clones took a lot of them out. Ooh, a little bazooka shot tripping a droid right there. Who is that from? Oh, it's from this little alpha over here. This little alpha Chad clone hiding in the trenches right now, all alone. That'd be pretty sad to be all alone in the trenches, having to fight off a horde of droids on the horizon. Be pretty scary. A grenade does land next to him. He tries to get up and fire a shot despite the grenade, but then gets blasted by droid infantry and goes down. Hate to see it. Front lines for the clones seem to have capitulated at this point. Yeah, all these lines are down, except for the far right. The far right, we've still got an E-Web turret, and I think it's because it's being backed up over here by the second line of defenses for the clones over that way. So maybe that's actually preventing this E-Web turret from really getting shot at too much. Plus, the droids kind of got to come up over this hill and kill it, which, the E-Web turret is sort of at a good advantage point right there to actually take out anyone who comes over that hill. So that's an interesting thing to see. We've got AAT tanks going on a major assault right now. Looks like they're heavily targeting this second prototype tank destroyer from the clone trooper units over here. Let's bump it up a speed here. I am worried about lag going in full speed, so we're going to keep it on 1 and 2 levels for now, see how it does, and then maybe when more units die, we'll bump it up all the way to normal speed. But, I mean, right now, even on 2 level, we're still only getting 14 FPS, and I don't want to go much lower than that. So we'll chill with this for now and see how it goes. This tank destroyer is still alive, but it doesn't really seem to be getting any kills. It might have killed that tank out there, not fully sure, but I think these dirt walls here are actually preventing it from firing too much. AAT's just rolling on in. Is this AV cannon still alive? No, the AV cannon is in fact dead. That could have done some damage to these tanks, but instead the tanks are managing to just roll on in here. All those clones down below just have small arms. I don't see any bazooka troopers amongst them. Any bazooka troopers amongst you guys up here? Come on, there's got to be someone. There's got to be someone. Come on. That guy has one, but he's kind of far away. He's in the very back line. Oh, there's a couple more, but again, in the back line there. It's not looking too good. Small arms fire could still do these AATs in, but it's going to take a lot longer. It doesn't seem like a lot of clones are actually committed to firing at those tanks with small arms fire. At least this bazooka seems to be getting some shots off over here at these AAT tanks. There's another one. Rips it into that droid tank real quick right there. Also, this tank destroyer over this way seems to be derping. I don't know why. One AAT does finally go down right there. I don't know why this thing isn't really firing too much. More bazooka shots hitting this tank right here. Is it glitched or something? I don't know what's going on with this tank destroyer, but something's up. Another AAT goes down right there. Another one goes down. These bazooka troopers now managing to get a ton of kills. These droid tanks focusing in on this tank destroyer, yet neither of them firing. I'm wondering if there is some sort of bug or problem with the AI, what's resulting in them not firing at this thing. Who knows? It's not good for really either side, because this tank destroyer could wipe out these tanks, I feel like, if it was firing, but it's not. Instead, the bazooka troopers, it's sort of up to them, and they're doing a pretty good job, so props to them. More AATs, in fact, coming on through. This one's going to hit the AV cannon. Okay, if it wasn't dead before, certainly is now. Certainly is now, baby. Clones in the trenches on the far left, basically undeterred. They are full up on troopers right now. They've got them all, baby. They really do have them all over there. Well, we are starting to get some more lag as more and more laser fire enters into the battlefield right now. Yeah, it's a getting laggy, boys. It's a getting laggy. How's the far left over here doing? They're doing pretty well, actually. The E-Web turret back here finally did end up going down. It took them long enough to actually kill that thing, but they eventually did. There you go. More droid infantry actually entering into the clone trenches here, fighting amongst the bodies of their fallen enemies right now. It's probably a good idea, in fact, because it's really the only cover available on this battlefield. This battlefield is very wide open. The mud flaps, not flaps, mud flats, like the geographical region, mud flats of Mimban, of course, does not offer a great deal of cover. I mean, you've got some dirt mounds you can utilize, but other than that, you really got to use the enemy trenches. You got to hop on into them and start firing away from the enemy trenches to conquer the next row of enemy trenches. Oh, there we go. The tank destroyer over here finally does go down for the clone trooper army. That is down for the count. This AAT seems to be really wrecking the center defenses here for the clone trooper army. The center defenses losing just plethoras of clone troopers again and again with every blaster shot coming in from the droids. Yeah, the left side not doing too hot either at this point. Lots more troopers going down over here. I think these AATs are breaking up the clone defense, and it's making it harder and harder for the clone troopers to actually recover in these regions with so much droid fire coming in. You know, they get dismantled from their position, they get distracted, they're not able to focus fire on the droids as much. These guys over here are in relative safety. It seems like they're able to just sort of fire without any incoming droid fire, but their brothers just a few yards away are fighting for their lives over here against a lot of incoming droid fire. This AAT graveyard seems to not even deter this final droid AAT that's left alive over here. This thing just going all in, and it might have actually took out the bazooka trooper over here. Maybe the bazooka troopers over here also ended up going down, and maybe that's why the AATs are getting so much more gutsy at this point, because they know they don't have that sort of competition that they got to deal with. There is one bazooka trooper over here, but he's not really in range, I don't think, to do anything. So, yeah, until those droid tanks move out again, they are virtually untouchable at the moment. This one over here just firing really far away down at the far right side of the clone trooper army here, taking some pot shots with its HE shells, as well as hitting it with some of that frontal machine gun fire that thing's got. And this is probably where the droids do need to sort of focus up in, because the left side is holding pretty strongly for the clone troopers. Clone troopers still have a lot of troops still alive over here, still managing to get a lot of fire out. They've even got bazooka troopers over here. Their E-Web turret did go down, but the small infantry can easily make up the difference of that E-Web turret just by, not getting suppressed and managing to get a lot of fire out. So the droid infantry over here is clearly having some trouble, because every time they peek up over this hill, they are getting slaughtered by incoming clone trooper rounds. So, yeah, the AAT tanks really do need to turn over to this side and start getting a lot more fire out, and it seems like this one is moving over this way, understanding the idea that, hey, this is a sector that if we let the clones continue to dominate over here, over time we could lose the battle on this side of the battlefield. Pretty bad AAT pot shot right there, basically just missed the trench. If they landed one right here, really anywhere else, inside the trench itself, they would get a lot of kills. This thing is being smart and taking a, taking a good distance between itself and the trench before firing, making sure that it doesn't get too close and actually in view of those bazooka troopers, because those bazooka troopers, man, they will do this thing in. There we go. We got some better AAT fire coming on in here, striking the clone trooper infantry within the trench and having some big results. That's what we like to see, baby. Yeah, baby. That one didn't work. So that's the nice thing about the trench, is even if they hit just on the outside of it, the inside is sort of blast protected by the walls and just the dirt covering it. So, you know, trenches are really effective, especially in the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod. All right, more droids, you know, sort of committing to this assault on this trench side over here. More of them actually managing to get up this hill. They are still taking a lot of fire, but they're getting a lot more fire out. They're getting more clone kills, and the AAT is helping them out as well. So this could be a good final push for the droids on this side of the battlefield, which could result in a victory. The clones really got to sort of, you know, get some fire out, get some kills in order to win this thing outright. All right, what's going on over here, baby? There are still clone troopers left alive over here. They're still getting fire out. They've lost their E-Web turret over this way. They got some rocket troopers, though, and stuff like that. The droid infantry over here seems to be thinning a good amount as well. So perhaps this is an area where the clones could manage to hold out, though it is going to be tough. This is definitely a close race we've got going on here between the droids and the clones. It could go either way, I think, for either side right now. MTTs are up here. They're not really firing. It's something weird. The troop transports basically never fire in this game. It's a very bizarre thing, but they're just chilling. All right, let's go into normal speed here. Normal speed time, yeah, baby. The AAT's rolling on up into the shop here. Are there any more clone bazooka troopers around here that could help out? Yes, there are. Back here, they got to get a lot of fire out. There's two of them. That is helpful. Both of them still alive. One gets a nice little underbelly shot right there. That probably did some serious damage. You probably need 2 or 3 more. One of them misses. The other gets another nice shot off right there. Let's see. Another good shot. Oh, they need to concentrate on one. Focus fire on one rather than both at the same time. They are getting some good shots in here. The droids not really clapping back. Okay, one does go down. The other goes down, but he manages to take out the AAT before he dies. There is just one more droid AAT on this side of the battlefield, and that might be the last AAT on the battle in total right now, which would be really, really good for the clone trooper army here. Droids still attacking over this way. I think one of those AATs that moved that way was the one that was sort of perched over this way firing in. So the droids have lost their AAT support over here, but there are a lot fewer clones left, so perhaps it doesn't even matter. Over here on the far right, we in fact only have about 5 clone troopers left alive. We do have 1 rocket trooper, but the rest are just standard infantry, and they're getting pretty heavily assaulted over this way. The clones still could manage to get a lot of kills here, but I do think this area will end up going down in a fiery last stand sort of a thing. Yeah, they're getting some more droid kills as the droids come up over into the trenches over this way, but I just don't think there's enough clone troopers left alive over here to actually make a big difference and actually you know, cement a victory for the clone troopers. These guys will likely be overthrown relatively soon. And definitely sooner rather than later, I think, as the droids send a lot of troopers this way. Although most of the droid troopers aren't going down, so I'd love it if they prove me wrong. All right, the droids over on this side. Oh, there's 2 AATs left. Those are just troop carriers. They don't have guns, so they're not really important. Yeah, so there's 2 AATs left. That's it. Okay. Well, let's see. They're going in over here. Clones don't seem to be really firing. There is 1 rocket trooper right there. They seem to sort of just be chilling as the beast. Oh, that guy's dead. As the beast, you know, prowls outside the trenches. I think these guys are probably dead and they know it. They're trying to like not fire, not make a sound so that maybe the droid tank just won't kill them. But I think it's gonna be no dice on that front. I think these guys are gonna go down. What was that big? Oh, there's another AAT directly behind them here, in fact. Taking some pot shots. Those clones do end up going down. There's 1 clone trooper left alive now in these trenches over here. My man, all alone. Oh, wait, there's more up here. Oh, I didn't even realize. There's like 5 up here. By the way, the clones over here did end up dying eventually. So now it really is just these guys on this side of the battlefield here. Let's see. This guy's got 4 kills. This guy's got 8. This guy's got none, this guy's got none, this guy's got 2, and this guy's got 2. Okay, so these clones in the back lines have done a good bit of fighting here, and they are a little bit battle-hardened. Their veterancy probably isn't too amazing, but it's at the very least better than a normal trooper, so that might help them in this battle a little bit. This rocket trooper's getting free shots on this AAT tank. The AAT tank doesn't seem to have an angle on this guy. He does duck for cover. He goes down, but not before getting that AAT killed. Yes, boy. Yes. Good job. Very nice. Very cool and very epic. All right, just a few more clones left alive. Was that actually it? Yep, that was it. The droids do end up winning this battle here with a decent amount of troopers left, but not that many. I think a lot of the bodies are probably destroyed from tanks rolling over them on this battlefield, so we probably won't get a good judgment of how many died for each side, but yellow are the droids, red are the clones. I mean, a lot of droids died. I'd say even with the destroyed bodies, more droids died than clone troopers on this battlefield, but the droids did manage to win. I wouldn't call it a Pyrrhic victory. I'd probably call it more of like a close victory. But the droids did lose a plethora of AAT tanks, infantry, and but they did gain a lot of trenches. So let me know if you want to see a sequel to this where the droids do enter into the super fortress. I can deck this thing out with tons of defenses and stuff like that if that's something you'd like to see. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to comment down below if you did, subscribe if you have not already, and smash that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.